When it came to these rankings, many of us have agreed on these placements, which I think it's cool we can come to terms with some of these finisher placements. Sometimes the general opinion isn't always agreed across everyone in the community. That is what we would call hotcakes. People have hotcakes about Mortal Kombat, and so do I. So, we're gonna look at my top 10 hotcakes about... Wait, something doesn't sound right. Hang on just 1 minute. I put a typo in the script. Fight! Good morning, afternoon, and happy birthday, Mom. My name is Nick, and welcome to, or welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, consider clicking the subscribe button to join the Whack Pack today and to stay tuned for more Mortal content. Today, we're going to be taking a look and discussing some Mortal Kombat hot takes, not hotcakes. This video idea was suggested by Amiri back when I was doing my character ranking of the original roster. Now, I thought this would be a perfect time to share those opinions with you all. If any of you have video suggestions, please let me know and I'd love to cover those in the future. When it comes to Mortal Kombat, not everyone agrees with each other on some of these things, so I'd like to share some of those opinions with you. These are just my thoughts and I would love to hear yours down below. I know we're not going to agree on many of these here, so please don't threaten me and my dog's lives if you don't agree with an opinion of mine. Note that I'm not trying to stir up any controversy. I'm just stating some points that I never understood, something I just didn't agree with, or I just like you to look at a different perspective of something. With that said, let's put those pitchforks away and let's discuss some unpopular Mortal Kombat opinions. Opinion 1. Let's start things off talking about someone I just did a video on, Reptile. After reading through some comments, many of you stated he was your favorite character. For me, I had a hard time connecting with the guy. So, my first opinion is that Reptile got less interesting as the games went on. Now, do I think he is a bad character? No, not one bit. I actually really like the character, but I think he just has a bad case of inconsistency. For an example, just take a look from his MK1 design and then look back all the way to MKX. The first 3 games, he was just a green palette swap of the ninjas. Pretty basic and simple. MK4, he went from a scaly, balding looking Howie Mandel, Deadly Alliance having him look more like my pet iguana from elementary school, and Shaolin Monks remaking his MK2 design with a scaly makeover. It's just so much changing so fast, which has me feeling the team really didn't know what to do with him after the original trilogy. Also, it doesn't help that he has never been playable in any story mode. For someone who fights for his race and wants them to return, I just wish it was explored in a character chapter or something like that. Honestly, that's why I hope we get Reptile going back to his roots with his design and explore his background in the story mode of a future game. As I said, I still like the character, I just think he's never had a consistent look. If that MK12 leak is legit, then bring us something great for a fan favorite character. Opinion number 2. Speaking of mentioning Mortal Kombat X and designs, we move on to my second unpopular opinion. This one focusing on the classic ninjas, and I think these are the worst rendition of the classic costumes from the original trilogy. Since Mortal Kombat 2011, we've seen the classic designs make a return for the ninjas, being based on Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. For whatever reason, the MKX designs are the most lacking for me. For one, the characters look more like action figures with skin looking like plastic. Also, the masks look way too big on their faces. Unlike the MK 2011 variants, those look pretty nice. They don't feel out of place either. MK11s are probably the best readaptation of these skins, with each one having its own personal flair while retaining some modern elements, like Sub-Zero Scar. But these MKX versions feel like they're a wardrobe malfunction instead. Opinion number 3. Now time to talk about the arcade classics. For more than 10 years, fans have been requesting for a remake of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. The last we got was a port of those games in 2011. Fans have been requesting for an official remake, and with the cancellation after cancellation, I feel this is less likely to happen. To be honest, I really would prefer a remake or a Code Mystics port of Mortal Kombat Trilogy instead. I feel like I am in the minority here, as many would like to see the other games remade, but please just let me explain. The last time Trilogy came out was in 1996, and it has not received any love since the era of the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64. It hasn't been ported to any modern platform, and the only places I've ever seen this is at a disc replay or any online retailer. Usually they're pretty expensive or they are rare to find. I think porting or remaking the final updated version of Mortal Kombat would be the best move in my eyes. I know many people would like the games to be remade, but I don't think it's really likely to happen, and I'm not going to hold my breath for it to happen. If you want to know more about the whole remake fiasco, be sure to tune in to the Matt McMuscles' episode of What Happened to learn more. I'll link a card at the top right over here. Opinion number 4. If you were to ask any longtime Mortal Kombat fan which is the worst Mortal Kombat game, many would point the finger at Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Personally, I think this game is a bit overhated, and I think it's not the worst Mortal Kombat game. Back in 2009, when my brother and I got our Xbox 360 on Christmas, we also got 3 games: Halo 3, Left 4 Dead, and Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Take any guess which one we played the most? Yep, following Mortal Kombat Armageddon, this was the first HD game in the series, and many people hated it for several reasons. Toned down finishers, a cheesy story, smaller roster, yada yada yada. But I think some of these are somewhat justified. For one, Midway was in the red, and their partnership with Warner Brothers kinda saved this project, but with the game having to be toned down for the DC heroes. Personally, I think some of the finishers do work in a teen-rated game, and it was the first time we got a really big narrative for a Mortal Kombat game, and it would be the start of the story mode feature that would be in future Mortal Kombat titles. Also, I think the roster is okay. They carefully chose members from the first 3 games, minus one Johnny Cage. Most impressively, this game had an extremely short development time and on new hardware, so I do have to give the team credit for that. Though this game isn't great, it's what led to the reboot of the series and the start of Injustice. If this game didn't exist, then MK would have died at Armageddon. Opinion number 5. If you were to ask any longtime Mortal Kombat fan who was the worst character in the franchise, I believe that 99% will answer by saying Suhao. However, I would say that he's not the worst character. For me, the worst character in the series is Mortal Kombat 4's Jarek. Now, I do think Suhao is a bad character. I just think Jarek is worse. For one, Jarek is an exact clone of Kano, with similar moves and similar finishers to him. At that point, I just wondered why not bring Kano back into Mortal Kombat 4 instead. Jarek is also infamous for his terrible endings inside of the game, so bad that even WB Games' TikTok mocked it. Suhao, sure, he wasn't great either, but at least he had a cool chest beam finisher and one of the best finishers inside of Deadly Alliance. All in all of the 99 playable Mortal Kombat characters, I think Jarek is worse than Suhao. Oh, and speaking of 99 characters, be sure to check out Don Critic's All 99 Characters Ranked video up here. He does a great job with character rankings and reviews. I love your work, Don, keep it up. Now, on to the next opinion. Opinion number 6. If there's one Mortal Kombat character that gets a lot of hate in recent memory, it's the series' newcomer, Cole Young. Many fans have stated they do not like this character one bit. Many find him to be too boring or an unnecessary addition to the franchise. So, my next unpopular opinion, I would like to see Cole Young playable in the next Mortal Kombat game. Personally, I think introducing a new movie character as a playable fighter would help him build some connection with the community. Maybe if the developers made his moveset interesting, it could help translate and have him stand out in the next movie. I mean, Louis Tan has already expressed interest in being part of the next game, and I am totally on board with that, so I hope you guys are listening. Opinion number 7. Time to jump into the movie realm. When I did my ranking of the movies, many people were surprised I put Scorpion's Revenge down the middle of the list. Don't get me wrong, I do like the movie, I just think it's a bit overrated. Before I get some kunais charging right at me, let me get this out of the way. I do think it's a good movie. It's not bad. I never said that it was. I think it's good. I just don't think it's an A-tier movie. I think some of the action is the best of all of the Mortal Kombat movies. Right next to the rebooted movie, it's the goriest film in the series. Where I find issues with it is with the story focus overall. I think it's a bit all over the place. We have the introduction of the origin story of Scorpion, the first tournament, and the Revenge Scorpion arc squeezed into one movie. If this movie stuck with just Scorpion's perspective rather than mixing it in with the Earthrealm champions, then I think it would have had a better and more focused narrative. I know this movie is loved by many fans, and I can see why, but I just don't love it as much as those fans. I like it, but it's not as great as everyone has told me. Opinion number 8. With Mortal Kombat 2021 having its sequel officially announced, many of us are excited to see what's to come. One of the biggest things people are looking forward to is Johnny Cage. Don't get me wrong, I am excited for his appearance in this film, but I think the casting role is more crucial than anything. My 8th unpopular opinion is that I want to see Johnny Cage be played by a smaller actor. No discredit to The Miz or Ryan Reynolds, which are actors many fans want to see play the struggling actor, but I think a smaller actor would make for a better experience for me. With Johnny Cage being a struggling actor, having a smaller actor play the role just makes it feel more believable for me. As believable as being a movie that takes place in a fantasy world. As much as I like the other two, I really don't see it working out the best for me. If I had to pick someone for the role, I would say Casper Van Dien from the MK Legacy series. If this happens, then I'll be super excited. Since this is a heated topic, please let me know who you'd like to see Johnny Cage be portrayed as in the next movie. I'll be looking down in the comments. Opinion number 9. Ever since Mortal Kombat included Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface, I've heard many people request more slashers to join. Although we almost got Ash Williams in Mortal Kombat 11, we almost got another one back in Mortal Kombat X, the Shape himself, Michael Myers. To be honest, I'm really happy that we didn't get him. My 9th unpopular opinion is that I don't want to see Michael Myers as a guest character. Sorry if I'm bashing on anyone's dream DLC pick, I like the character a lot, but I don't see Michael Myers being the best fit for a Mortal Kombat game. Honestly, he doesn't do a whole lot outside of stalk people and stab them, unless you're Rob Zombie, but that's a completely different story. I really don't think he would lend to a fun moveset, being limited to a knife and a very inconsistent timeline to pull sources from, especially if he were to be included to promote the new Halloween series. Now sure, we did get Leatherface back in MKX, who wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but at least he was ripping and tearing like a Doomslayer low on ammo, but his chainsaw was perfect for various playstyles that pulled from multiple moments in the movies. I just don't think Michael could do the same, and I don't think it would have the same MK magic. Opinion number 10. Alright, this one's definitely going to be interesting. My number 1 unpopular opinion is about the inclusion of guest characters, and I think they should be a mainstay in every Mortal Kombat game. Now, I do understand some concerns people have with guests, such as taking the possible slot of returning characters or just not fitting the universe, but I prefer their inclusion as they help MK and Injustice in the long run. As Ed Boon mentioned during the development of MKX, Freddy Krueger and Scorpion were the highest selling DLC characters for Mortal Kombat 2011 and Injustice Gods Among Us. I know plenty of people who only got into Mortal Kombat or Injustice was because of the guest character inclusion. Just imagine how many fans of Predator and Alien bought MKX just to play as them. Frankly, I knew many people that just did that. It helps get more people into the series. Sure, not all of them are perfect, and I had my issues with a few of them, but I can't deny how much their inclusion helps the impact of the series in a positive way. So with the rumored Mortal Kombat 12 coming soon, I can't wait to see who will cross over from the multiverse, and you bet I'll be playing them day one. And those are my biggest Mortal Kombat unpopular opinions. Which one of my opinions do you agree with, and which ones do you disagree with? Be sure to leave your opinions in the comment section down below, and I'll be surely to get back to you. While we're at it, let's keep this polite and fun. I would like to hear your opinions about this series. Again, thank you to Amiri for the suggestion. If you have any video ideas, whether they're rankings or discussions, please let me know and I'll get back with you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay tuned for more content. Check out the community tab for teases regarding the next character to get their finishers ranked. It'll be a tasty treat for you all. Again, thank you very much for tuning into this video. My name is Nick, and I'm gonna go have some hotcakes with my mom. Goodbye, y'all.